Well, greetings and thanks for joining us for another episode of Lightbulb Moments, episode number 174. We're live most Wednesdays. We will be off next Wednesday, the next two Wednesdays because of holidays. But we're also available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. So whether you're joining us live or listening or viewing, we're glad you're with us. I'm Tom Kuhn. I'm host and curator of Lightbulb Moments, which is a sudden realization, enlightenment, or inspiration. Remember, you can't start a fire without a spark. At Qnity, we're here to help you go from what's confusing, overwhelming, and complicated to a clear path towards prosperity. To prosper, remember to manage your ATM, the three currencies we have in life, and thanks for spending your precious time with us today. We love hearing from you. Use the chat or submit a light bulb moment of your own or nominate a guest, or maybe you want to be a guest. So certainly submit something at info@qnityinc.com. Or again, we can use the chat or just reach out to one of us. Feature and special guest today, Luisa Garcia. She's the owner of Soleil Salon and Spa out in New Hampshire. We're going to have two topics we're going to dive into today with Luisa. She'll be joining us very shortly. I'm super excited to have her as a returning special guest. Check out recent episodes. Our last episode was with Deborah Neal Baker and Garrison Neal of the Neal family of companies. We had a great conversation. Very, very good conversation. I had a lot of ahas and talking to them and prepping and following up and all of that. But it was really part of a series that we're calling Multi-Gen, which is really looking at multi-generation businesses, in many cases family businesses like this one, to provide lessons. It's sort of under the theme of also succession-related practices, which is a sub-theme to Lightbulb Moments. So great episode. A lot of really great tangible keys to success that came out of it. So Lightbulb Moments is sponsored by Lightheart Sanders, Green Circle Forest. Thanks to them for helping to make this possible. Also, don't forget to check out Money 02, which is a podcast by Aaron with amazing stories by many money experts, as well as non-money experts with their stories, their journeys, etc. It's really a rich podcast. All right, so a couple things. The episode coming up after the first of the year will start to reveal the findings from the 2024 Salon P&L benchmark study. This study has gone unbelievably well. We have about $500 million of participation. Just to shed a light on this. This is not complete in a survey. These are companies that actually submitted their profit and loss statements to a portal to Lightheart Sanders CPA firm, and which is very, very important. Because what it will allow us to do is to come up with new benchmarks. And I will tell you this, the benchmarks have changed. And we're going to start the beginning of a new era with really data-driven, hot off the press, relevant benchmarks as it looks to a profit and loss statement. And there's a lot of tangible findings to come out of it. So Jared Sanders will join me on the first episode after the first of the year. Jared Sanders from Lightheart Sanders. And we're going to start to go through some of the findings and then ultimately issue a report in the first quarter, and then also schedule meetings with all those that participate in the study to go through their scorecards. But first and foremost, this is an industry project. We've had sponsorship by Wella, Aveda, Neal, Lightheart Sanders, Boulevard, Zenoti, and all of them have helped make this possible. So super exciting. It's going to be a very relevant topic. It fits under the theme of data and insights, which is also something you can expect on Lightbulb Moments. We are back to year 4 for the fill coming up in May of next year. And today we are going to go through what the theme is. So this is a bit of a theme preview, and I'm super excited about that. You can go to our website for more information about the fill. I've got some screenshots from all the different past years, whether it was John Paul DeJoria showing up as a special guest, whether it was our 9 grid gallery, whether it was all the interactions in the community that came from the workshops, whether it was working with professors from the University of Texas, whether it was filling your bucket. This fill has become a legit event. I mean, it's really come a very, very long way in a short amount of time. And when we are looking at a theme, we're looking at multiple areas of inspiration. And I'll take you a little bit behind the scenes, and then I'm going to do a theme reveal. A theme reveal is coming up. So, some ideas that really were part of our thinking for next year's fill is one was we're a big promoter of grid-based thinking and have a lot of design-driven visual tools that we perfected over the last 15 years with an award-winning Minnesota designer. And grid thinking is something that works really well for visual tactile learners. And we have a whole family of grid-based tools. So the first idea was something playing with the word grid, like off the grid, on the grid. Austin, by the way, has a power grid there. That's a big topic of conversation. So we threw out the word grid. Then we also was thinking, this whole idea of X's and O's. And X's and O's, think like tic-tac-toe on a 9 grid, so X's and O's, and sort of the X's and O's of business, And and then ultimately, and this was very much a team-driven conversation. I mean, all the creative happens within the walls of Qnity. We don't outsource our creative, our naming any. We do it all ourselves. And it was a combination of Michelle Schuster, Adriana Rispi, Aaron, JP, I mean, that's, a couple of our directors. And so we threw around some ideas, and all of a sudden it just started to click. And it started to click. And what started to click is really the evolution of education, sort of as I've imagined it. Education that really is designed for a creative, tactile learner. Someone that really enjoy hands-on activity-based learning. And in our core bodies of work, profit, growth, and execution, we use Pretend Salon Spa as a way to really teach people principles on the different business practices for profitability, growth, and execution. Learning as we've gone through the last 15 years that in many cases when you're approaching a subject like profitability, one of the first things that you want to do is like pull up your own numbers and start digging in and start applying it to your business, but not so fast. That pressure takes away from the learning of the practice. So what we've done in our programs, a huge innovation, and it's made a big difference, is we really start out teaching in a non-threatening environment through a hypothetical company called Pretend. And it's been instrumental in practicing what you learn before you apply it because it takes away the emotion and all that. So anyway, Pretend. The other thing that has really come up is gamification and how learners really engage with content today. And gamification has been things that we've done in the past at Qnity retreats, but we haven't really gamified to the next level. So anyway, so all of this put together came up with a very exciting theme that will bring a certain type of energy to the fill. And the theme with the fill is really about filling the gaps of your business and filling up your bucket. So this year's theme will be play. Play. Why not? I mean, the tools and the training are just there at your fingertips to play with. And so we're still going to have that rich experience with professors from the University of Texas, a lot of data, a lot of the things, a lot of community and all of that. But what this theme does is it gives us the opportunity to create an environment where we're able to learn, share community, fill the gaps, fill your bucket an environment that brings a little bit of sense of lightening things up, so lighten up a little bit. And so anyway, we're going to have a ton of fun as a development team to pull this out and explore it. And the ideas and the creativity and the innovation coming out within our team is just incredible right now because we gave ourselves permission with this theme to really bring a different energy to the fill. So anyway, super excited about the theme. We're going to unpack this a little bit more as the days go on. We haven't even really announced this to all the members of our team yet, but hey, Lightbulb Moments is usually the place where you hear it first. So you're hearing it first. That's the theme. If you haven't signed up for the fill, you should, because this is going to be an amazing year, year number 4. This is year number 4. Yes. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Thanks for listening to that. And so I'm going to go through a couple quick light bulb moments on a lighter note. My light bulb moment last week on a lighter note was about the social battery. And where's your social battery during the holiday? Do you need to wear one of these lapel pins like I have so I can communicate to my wife as we get late in the night and I'm fried that I'm ready to go home? So I just slide this thing anyway. Here's the next thing that just came up, if you'll forgive me. My light bulb moment this week is don't even think about it. Do any of you out there get notes by your spouses or anybody else that says, don't even think about it? This is the message that I got when I'm looking at this delicious pumpkin bread and all this other tasty stuff in the kitchen. And then my wife has a preemptive strike putting a note on there saying, don't even think about it. Anyway, do you have any don't even think about it? Do your spouses, your whoever, partners, family, do any don't even think about it? Or do you have any of your own don't even think about it? Anyway, on a lighter note, that's my light bulb moment of the week I'll share with you. All right, without any further ado, Luisa, we're going to invite Luisa to the conversation right now. And we have this beautiful picture of Luisa that I'm going to remind people that this is part of a series that was done at the Phil 2 years ago, where Luisa and about, I think, maybe 10 or 15 other people sat for a portrait with world-renowned photographer David Raculia. And then the proceeds of that went to Beauty Changes Lives. And Luisa was one of the people that sat for these photos. And it's a gorgeous photo. And Luisa is a beautiful soul inside and out. Luisa, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Well, thanks for being my guest today.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm looking at your lighting. You're a little bit dark. I don't know if you can fix that a little bit. If not, don't worry about it. It's just fine. Making sure we can hear you is number one. But
Okay.
if you could project a little more light, great.
To
If not, we'll keep going. I'll set the stage for our listeners today. So, Luis and I have two topics. That's a lot better, Luisa. Thank you. We have two topics. We have a university partnership, which, boy, that has come up several times even in the last 2 weeks. Because last week we talked about another use of a university with Garrison and Deborah Neal about their work with the University Family Business Center. We just talked about U Texas being part of the Phil. And you have something going on with UMass. And so we're going to talk about that.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then we're going to have you go in the barrel. And I'll explain what that means a little bit with a very real situation you're dealing with today. And you've agreed to help us create a live case study, a decision that you're making today. So are we ready to go?
Yes, I am so
All
excited.
right. So I did an Instagram post of you, Luisa. It was probably 6 months or so. So any of you that want to learn a little bit more about Luisa, scroll back on my Instagram and there's a real nice write-up about Luisa, her roots a little bit. Comes from Puerto Rico, had a very strong father figure who encouraged her to get into math and all of that. So you have a great, great story. We've covered it in past episodes. And one thing that Joe from Trios just popped a little note up there. For those of you that are familiar with Luisa, is she somehow spends how much of the year working out of Italy even though you have a New Hampshire-based salon?
12 weeks, 3 months,
How many?
3 months.
3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And during the pandemic, or when everybody was having a hard time hiring people, you were just hiring people like left and right from Italy.
From Italy. Yes. I had a walkout and I needed to, fulfill those chairs. The challenge that it was the spa, but the chair was just hiring people. And then I was answering calls from there, booking appointments, making sure the salon continued running. That was my biggest thing, how I'm going to answer the phone from there and booking because I didn't have a front desk. But I did have a strong team back home here. So it was good. It was good. Actually, about 3 days ago, we were talking about it with one of the staff members,
Mm,
reliving that moment.
that's very cool. Well, let's talk first a little bit about the UMass. You have a UMass project on it. It's University of Massachusetts, and you're working with a organization that really is through the UMass Manning School of Business, and it's through Mill City Consulting, who really manages an internship program through the university. And it provides students with opportunities to work alongside local businesses like yours on diverse projects such as marketing, accounting, financial management. This particular group affiliated with UMass Boston has a portfolio of local businesses, and then the students can contribute to helping small business owners like yourself either launch their venture or focus on business tasks such as a business plan, developing strategies, enter the market, and commercialization of innovative ideas. And it's guided by an alumni who has a master's in finance. His name is Dan, and he has a lot of his own expertise. So anyway, so are you paying for these services?
No, no, it is completely complimentary. You can actually do a donation to the program. And what I've been doing every time we meet, I just bring food and they are so excited about it. Cookies and pizza and all that stuff. So yes, it was through one of my clients and my client just said, no, it's free of charge. We just want the kids to learn, the students to learn.
Well, you already have a light bulb moment right away, and that is food is a great currency.
Yeah.
A great currency. And for the record, the "don't even think about it" message from Mary was because she was giving those breads to, some people we work with locally. So anyway, yes, food is a great substitute for money. Okay, so now. So you've got the support from some bright individuals,
Yes. Yes.
and I think it's interesting. I don't want to get too deep into the structure, but let's cover enough of it. How many students? Is it all remote? Let's start there, okay?
So right now I have four students, two in the marketing area, one in the finance, and one of accounting major. So what we do it remotely, but once or twice a month, they either come to the salon or I go to the university, which tomorrow it is my time to go with them. This is the first time they're actually working with a salon. So the actual professor is very involved in it because they have never done a salon before. So they wanted to know every aspect of the salon. So yep, it's incredible.
And is there like a targeted completion date or is there a term to this? I mean, how long does this last for?
So when we started, it was going to be only 6 months or the first semester. And now the professor just told me today we're going to continue the whole year. So, in some of the kids, the students that are with me right now, they have decided to continue in the journey with Soleil. So, I thought they were going to be changing, but today I have the news that at least three of them are going to start. And then the feedback that I have in terms of like bring them inside has been heard, and we will talk tomorrow about it. So, I'm excited.
Well, I've got something for you and Dan, okay? All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a public offering to you, okay?
Okay.
So when you get to the point where you have some conclusions, and if they have a presentation, we'll invite you back as a guest with them to do part of their presentation. So you get a little more exposure, they get a little more exposure, and I think all of us would be super interested. I'd be super interested to get an idea what they come up with.
Actually,
What do you think about that?
tomorrow will be the presentation for the first semester. So I will share that with you. And then in May, I believe, or June will be the final conclusion of the presentation. So the whole project.
So maybe we'll have to have them join us at the Phil or do an episode in June or something like that. We can meet these individuals. So can you tell us a little bit about the individuals? I mean, so you've got four individuals. Are they from all over the place with a variety of backgrounds?
Yes, it is amazing, Tom, because I have Stephanie. She's from Andover, which is like 20 minutes away from here. Miguel is Colombian. Nico has a Korean and Italian. And Xian is from here as well. So it's a background. We can speak Spanish with some of them. Some of them speak a little bit of Italian. And the great thing about this is how much of passion they have for the project that they're in right now. So when I did the discovery call with all of them, the professor just said, "These are the four people, the students that are going to be working with you." And when they did the presentation, the first presentation at Soleil, it was such a beautiful passion that you knew that they were doing the research that I asked basically what Soleil needs the help. And they went above and beyond to the point that they sent a secret shopper into the salon.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was like blown away by that. I said, you know what? They are very invested in this project.
What is your team's reaction to this? What is their reaction?
Super excited about it because now what I'm going to do is just develop a menu just for the university, for the kids. And we do have some interns in here for hair and level ones that are going to be utilizing basically those, we're going to be utilizing them for those service at the university. When I give
What?
the
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you mean services at the university. I'm sorry.
So with Dan asked me if we'd be able to create kind of like a menu for university students,
Hair services.
hair services and spa services. So
Oh,
that is what is going to come out in 2025. And I say yes, because I do have level interns in here and an internship that it will be able to take on those students that are coming in. They need practice anyways. So that's going to be happening in 2025 at the beginning of the year.
okay. So that's sort of a little hidden jewel you sort of threw out there. I didn't know that was coming. So this actually has the opportunity to build revenue for you.
Yes. Mhm.
And now this idea just seems to be getting better.
Yes. Yes, because I was actually talking to another professor that I have. She's more in the computer science in another university in Boston. And she said, "Do you want another intern in computer science? And can I please have the same menu for my students as well?" And I said, "Sure." So um, it was just, I was like, you know what? Yes, let's just do this. We have college around us. Um, and I see the benefits for both of us.
This is amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's that little nugget at the end moves it up sort of my scale of initiatives in terms of the outcome. I mean, you're supporting your community, you're supporting students, you're giving them a opportunity. You're getting insights, you're getting support, you're getting help, and you could be creating a whole new revenue stream for a category of the business that maybe wasn't a clear path to monetizing.
Mm-mm. No, no. But
Yeah.
the team is excited. I actually share that with them at a summit that we have and the meeting that we have in here. I'm working with Mel Consulting. What do you think? We develop a menu, and they were just thrilled. Actually, last week they're like, the menu's done. We want to see it. So
So that would be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, what that menu looks like. Are you able to speak to that? I mean, without getting too deep into it, I mean, what would that menu look like that you're presenting for them?
So we will do, when I went to the university, I asked them what they will be interested in actually having the services. A lot of them was like haircuts, color, and then some services at the spa, like waxing, facials, and maybe massages. Obviously, talking to Dan, I was like, these are, they don't work or anything. So we're going to make sure that the price points are affordable for the students.
Yeah, it's good for everybody, isn't it? Now, where's the campus? How far away is the campus from? This is not UMass Boston, right? This
No.
is okay.
Mm-mm. It's UMass Lowell, so it's about 20 to 25 minutes from here, and it's all highway.
Super convenient. All right, I love the idea, and I think it's an encouragement to our listeners to look creatively in terms of support. And one of the things that's going to come out of the P&L study, Louisa, is non-service payroll looks very different today than it did 5 to 8 years ago. And innovation is going to be really important. And I think innovation is going to have to come from thinking outside the business. So I think it's a great project for you, and it just checks a lot of boxes, doesn't it? I mean, how does it feel when you're doing this? I mean, what does it make you feel like as an owner?
My heart is full because for the past years, I wanted to have an intern. I don't know what type, but I just want to, besides the hair, I wanted to do more into the business. I wanted to work with intern with the university. I tried to reach out, and it just came from a client for just a simple conversation with the guest. She's a professor at the university, but on the marketing side and research. And she connected so well with Soleil and myself that she had a project for the project. She's like, do not present this without presenting this to Luisa. This is one of the most important parts I want to make sure that we do the research on. So my heart is full. I feel like it's something that I wanted to do for so long, like coaching and helping and just interacting. I love the findings. I love the research too. And I love how much passion they have and to see how much work they put it into it and the dedication they have.
I love it. And if they need any data, we certainly have a bunch of data. And ironically, the one of the most significant data projects we ever did was with UMass Boston,
Ooh.
where I worked a whole semester with MBA students. But this was the UMass campus, and it was through a professor there. And anyway, I think it's amazing. Uh,
I share your findings with the professor, the study.
what's
Uh,
that?
I share with Dan the study, the copy of the study. I said just for you only, so you know what is the salon industry all about. This is
Great.
a Tom Kuhn and Qnity study. Check it out. And then we work with Forrest a lot with the insight. They were very excited to see so much number, everything all in places because Deanne said to me, Luisa, you'll be surprised how many people doesn't have a pulse on numbers and how many businesses doesn't know where they're going. And with all that information, it's more clear and we can actually move forward with a lot of research.
All right. Great topic. Great initiative. Congratulations. We're all going to be waiting. We're going to want you back as guests, maybe feature the students, so we'll stay tuned on that, okay? Let's get to topic number two. And Luisa, you reached out to me because you have a very real situation in front of you. And let me set the stage a little bit about your business. So, single location, New Hampshire. You have how many chairs?
8.
8 chairs, and you double shift because what, you have a 3-day work week? Okay.
Yep.
So technically you can have what, 16 people somewhere? Okay, gotcha. And where are you at right now in your staffing?
It is at least 7 staff members at the chair in the chair, but
So you're
staffing
not,
completely 15.
gotcha. Okay. So you had an opportunity come up and well, it's current. It's not come up and like closed. I mean, so there's a adjacent, relatively close business competitor, friendly competitor, who, for a variety of different reasons, they don't want to go forward with their business. And it doesn't really make sense. You and I sort of determined, doesn't make sense to really acquire this business, for a lot of different reasons, but it's probably going to close. And there's a lot of staff members. So kind of take it from there.
So it's a location that has been in business for over 33 years, very well known in the town that they're in. Uh, the relationship that I have with the bank brought me into a conversation with one of the guests, and she told me, she's like, "Are you interested in seeing an opportunity?" And that's when the door opened. I didn't know it was them. And this week we had a conversation. She is losing by the end of the month 3 more staff members, lost another one. The ones that wanted to actually buy it, they were negotiating for a whole year. Unfortunately, in November, it was a no. And then yeah, the person, one of the persons depart. By the end of the month, like I said, 3 more will depart. And then she said, basically, we don't know if we can continue moving forward with the business just because we will continue probably losing more. At this point, they don't want to kind of like put the effort even into stopping this bleeding, I will call it, just because they're tired, they're burned out, and they want to retire within the year and a half. They also has a house in Italy that they spend time in there, and that's what they want to do. And some personal stuff that I have come up that it's no longer their passion. They don't want to do it. They love their location. They just don't want to do it because of the culture and how the business basically has gone.
So I'm wondering what our listeners think you should do.
Mm,
And if
yeah.
anybody wants to put anything in the chat, so what should Louisa do? You have a mature business with team members that will most likely not have a home. Buying a location doesn't make sense. So anybody have any comments? Feel free to put it in the chat there. But so here we have it, and they reached out to you for help. Actually started from the banker and
Mm.
then went to the owners. We're gonna keep plenty of distance, but so we're not gonna reveal who this is. And we're within the bounds of confidentiality here, and we'll keep it that way. My heart goes out to them, first of all, having a business around that long and not to go out on a high is discouraging and breaks my heart a little bit, especially, you know, one more reason why succession planning is important because it probably could have been prevented. But what are you thinking of doing?
Um, so I just had an email with the attorney for this location. My lease is up in February, which is something that I was like, oh, it was on 2025.
Wait a minute, February 25?
Yeah,
Okay, sorry, I'm just hearing for this for the first time, so keep going. Okay.
yes. So I just got an email on Monday for the attorney. Luisa, are you want to renew the lease? It's up on February 2025. And I was like, oh, okay. This was like a so talking with the owners of the other location, they have the same square footage, a lot less money in terms of rent. So it's looking into what am I going to do? Uh, this came from out of sight. I thought it was more deep into 2025 when I was going to renew the lease. I spoke with Dan quickly and I asked him again, what is your background? Because I knew he was in real estate and looking at leases and stuff like that. So we have a meeting at 3 p.m. today. I will reveal him this. He doesn't know about it and see what we're going to do. But it was interesting when I went there, they do not have the spa that I have here. They do have two single rooms for massage and aesthetics. They have over 20 stations, shampoo bowls. They have a boutique next to it, which I do have a small one in here. And a lot of people. I do have clients coming in into the salon, kind of like heartbroken because of that sense. They asked me if I actually will take the staff and the owner inside the Soleil um, for like a year, and then he will retire. So I have to think a lot. The
Yes.
holidays on top of it.
Yes, and I honestly, when we spoke about this, you're catching my surprise. I really, we didn't cover that you have a lease expiring. So the plot does thicken here. So if you did relocate, which could be a viable option, is that you would take the space, lower rent, more capacity, because your capacity right now is 8 chairs. The other capacity is how many?
Up to 20.
Lower rent, higher capacity. What about the state of the facility? Does it have deferred
So
maintenance? I mean, does it need some work?
they just renewed the whole space in 2013. The location looks completely new. Basically, the furniture too. I was kind of like, I went there to have a blow dry to feel the energy inside there. The owner was there. We acted like we don't know each other. I sat down. I had a lovely stylist do my hair, and just they give me a little tour for it. So I was like, oh my God, this is a beautiful location. The equipment is fairly new, well kept, well kept.
Hmm. Well, Luisa, this is super exciting because I see a couple options. One is that you have a handful of team members
Hmm.
from that business that you've interviewed, you set the rules of engagement, you know, seem likely to fit in your culture, and voila, you have the opportunity to have a dramatic increase in your business that would come from more talent, in a way that um, um, isn't negative to another business. So you're not poaching staff, is what I'm trying to say here. In fact, not poaching staff, you're giving them an opportunity. So that's one great option. The other great option is that you would seize this as an opportunity to relocate for lower rent, more capacity, and a more updated salon.
Hmm.
Quite a conundrum. Should we have you back as a guest to figure out what the heck you did? Maybe we'll do an update on Lightbulb Moments because now I'm sort of at the edge of my seat.
Yes,
What you
Zach.
decide.
And I think you were the first one to know. I'm like, who can I turn? And I said, Tom will give me a light bulb moment of what to do. He will tell me an insight from his wisdom. So thank you for so much for taking the time to listen to that. I was in Italy when this happened.
Yeah, of course you were in Italy when it
Yeah, I
happened.
was.
Yes.
And I'm like in the car, I'm like, Tom, I'm driving, but can you listen to me? And I was like on the queue basically because it was two people ahead of me looking at the space, but at the moment, it's nobody in basically the desperation of it all. Um,
Well, a shout out to you in terms of how you're approaching this with the owners, which is it's very respectful, it's very caring, it's not predatory. I mean, I think that you have approached this with a very collaborative heart, for fellow salon owners that, it's got to be a tough situation for them. So shout out to you for how you handle this, which is professionally with respect and care and all of that. So, um, and then backing up a little bit for the listeners, you mentioned Dan. Dan's the name of the professor that has a pretty good real estate background, which is another reason why reaching out to him could be super interesting. So, well, Luisa, our time is coming to an end here. And before we hang up, holidays here. So you've got three kids, and where are your three kids right now? Three
So
adult children.
Daniel is 32 and he lives in Mexico City. Right now, he's in Puerto Rico for 3 months, coming home for 4 days in January, and then leaving to Mexico City, where he's actually living right now, working for a startup. And then Kenny is here in Londonderry, which is 20 minutes away, and working in Boston for another startup in the pharmaceutical. He's a director of pharmacy in Boston area. And then Chantel, which is my daughter, she's 26 and she's working in Miami for a startup on a company overseas for education. She's a software engineer there.
So all three of your kids are working at startups.
Yes, they are.
They're adventurous, aren't they? Like the mother.
I'm like, can you take this alone?
All right. Well, listen, I know you're gonna have a great holiday season. I'm sure you're gonna miss having everybody around, but I think you're a great guest to sort of end the year with. And two very exciting things going on for you. One is this partnership you have with the university with the interns, and then the other one is your current situation, the decisions you're gonna have. So we're all gonna be waiting with bated breath to see where this all comes. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody. I will see you all on the field. I can wait.
Let's give Luisa a virtual round of applause. Luisa, you probably have two or three of these already. I mean, you're going to have probably $3 million.
I have one there.
Okay. All right. What a great guest. Thanks so much.
Thank
For the rest of you, we will wish you a happy holiday season here because we are off the next 2 weeks. And I have a quote for you. A song, I think it was by Carly Simon. These are the good old days. Remember, these are the good old days. All right. Have a great holiday season. We're going to do some fresh, new, exciting stuff in Lightbulb Moments next year. Also, don't forget a celebration, fourth annual, I don't know how many annual celebration of light bulb moments at the Phil is coming up on May 18th, where we're going to invite all of our guests on light bulb moments, as well as all of you to have will probably be another black and white night next year, but with a new twist. So, and as JP says in the chat, let's play. I hope you have some playful times during the holiday and then help us really explore the theme of play for the Phil because it's going to be a ton of fun. Thanks again for listening in, all of you. Luisa, thanks for being a great guest. Happy holidays to all of you. Thanks for our sponsors, and we'll see you after the first of the year. Bye, everybody.